Hi, world. I've been having kind of a hard week, and so I just wanted to get on and talk about some emotional stuff, maybe, and um, yeah, just let everybody know that even though I'm doing really well, all things considered, it's still hard. Every day is hard. My week started out, I almost got into a pretty major car accident. Luckily, not with another vehicle, but I was coming down a really steep hill and I hit a patch of ice because winter finally hit where I live. And my car flipped around backwards and I was sitting the wrong direction that I should have been going. And there were steep sides on the side of each side of this hill. And it could have been really bad. And um, basically, my car stopped on the steepest part of the hill and it shouldn't have, you know what I mean? Like, there's no reason my car should have stopped where it did. And so I just think to myself that God really wants me to live for a while because it could have been bad. And there was no reason for my car to stop where it did. And, you know, thankfully, my mom's boyfriend was able to come and a friend, and they had to chain my car to a nearby tree and get it back on the road and back to where they could get it down. And it was pretty ugly. So that was how my week started. And then the next day, my furnace starts acting up in my house. Luckily, it wouldn't stop running. Not that it wouldn't work, but it wouldn't stop running because now this week, right now it's a high of like -2 today, and tomorrow is supposed to be a high of like -4. So, it's freezing where I live, and I was so terrified that my furnace was going to totally go out because it was just running nonstop. It was like 85 degrees in my house. And I don't know if you could tell from the videos, but I live in a trailer house. Do you know how hard it has to run to get a trailer house to 85 degrees? So my furnace was running nonstop, and I thought for sure it was going to blow that thing out because it is so old. But I called a repairman, and he came over and switched a bunch of parts out on the furnace, and he said, if it keeps happening, it's your thermostat. And the next day it did it again. And so we went and got a new thermostat. And thank God for my mom's boyfriend, because he came over and after some trial and error and 3 different thermostats, we finally got it to work. And so far it seems to be working. But I don't know. The fear gets really hard, even about medial things like that. Like, I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, the furnace is working, but when's it going to stop? Is it going to stop working? It's going to be -6 degrees for the next couple days. Like, what if it stops working? What if? The what if feelings never stop. And then I go in for treatment today. And it always seems like a couple days leading up to treatment, I get incredibly anxious. And I think it's because it's a blatant in your face reality that you cannot deny that you have cancer when you're going into the cancer center. And you're, for me, I'm getting my infusion and, they're drawing blood. Oh, yeah, I had to go and get lab work done again like a week and a half ago because my labs were weird at my last appointment and they wanted to make sure it was okay. And when I got my blood drawn, what I call browning out, because you don't all the way black out, like faint, but you pretty much do. The tunnel vision came in. I couldn't see anything. I couldn't speak hardly. I was on the very, very brink of fainting. And the lab techs told me that happens to people, about a dozen people a week there. So I'm not alone in that. And if that ever happens to you, you're not alone in that either. It happened to me. But it was scary. And I go in, like I said, I go in for treatment today. And the first thing they do every time you go in for treatment is take blood work. And So now I'm like terrified that I'm going to faint when they do the blood work. I'm terrified that my furnace is going to go out. I'm terrified that I'm going to get into a car accident on these crummy roads. And that's just like the normal day-to-day stuff that I'm scared of. That's not even the fact that I think a lot about, like I said in my last video, the life expectancy they give people with my cancer. It's really hard to think about. It's really scary to think that if that's accurate, I've only got 5 months left to live. And I'm just scared. Even when I got good news that my tumor shrunk some, I was so happy. But at the same time, that fear creeps in and you start to wonder, well, how long is that going to last? How long is it going to be good news? It's going to turn around at some point, right? And it's going to be bad news again. When is that going to happen? When is it going to get to the point where it really is affecting my day-to-day life? You know, like I also said in a previous video, with the way my tumor looked, I expected the whole right side of my body not to be working. And thank God that hasn't happened to me yet. But I can't help but wonder when it's gonna. How I'm gonna feel when that happens, if it happens. I'm constantly scared. And I'm scared of a lot of things. I'm afraid of dying. I envy those people who are so confident in their faith that they're not afraid to die. Those people who know Jesus has me, and when I die, I'm going to heaven, and it'll be wonderful. I have my faith. I've been working on strengthening it a lot lately, and my faith feels really good. It brings me a lot of peace and a lot of comfort. But I'm still not to that point where I'm not afraid to die. I'm really afraid to die. And more so than dying, I think I'm really afraid of not living, if that makes sense. I'm afraid that on the day-to-day I'm not doing enough, that I'm not leaving a positive impact on the world. I worry about the impact I leave on the world a lot. That I'm not spending enough time with this person or that person, that I haven't said everything that I want to say to this person or that person. And right now, I mean, there's so many, I feel so selfish complaining about these things, but this is reality. Right now, we live in the world of COVID. So I've been looking into Make-A-Wish Foundation type things, the people who grant wishes. Like, I'll take pretty much anything they can give me because I'm worried that I haven't experienced enough in life. And, but in the world of COVID, most of them aren't even running. I've contacted a bunch of them and I have gotten no responses. Or some of them will straight up say right on their website, at this time, we're not doing this or that. At this time, we're only accepting applications from children. And, things like that. And I'm glad that some of them are still able to run and provide things for kids and stuff like that. But I feel like, I don't know, I'm kind of getting this shaft a little bit. Oh, I feel so selfish saying that, but it sucks. There are things that I want to do. I've never been outside of the United States, and that's something I've always wanted to do. That's a big one, and I'll even be that cliche, and I want to go to Disney World, you guys. I went to Disney World with my family when I was like 5 years old, And I barely remember any of it because I was so young, that I've always thought I want to go back to Disney. Like, that's always been something I want to do. I can't really afford that, and I can't really find any of those programs that normally takes people to Disney World that are running right now. So that sucks. But yeah, I'm scared a lot of the time. And the other emotion that I feel, I think even more than fear most days, which has been very surprising to me, is anger. I'm so angry that this is happening to me. I'm angry at the world. I'm angry at myself, feeling like I did something wrong, feeling like I caused this somehow, whether it was something I did physically, like did I use too many chemical cleaning products? Did I use too much bleach? Did I do this or that? Was I not a good enough person? I feel like I'm a good person. You know, I'm not to toot my own horn, but I've always really been that person who would sacrifice themselves, their energy, their time, their resources for other people. And I feel like there are a lot worse people in the world that this could be happening to. And I feel selfish saying that, but it's the truth. It's how I feel right now. But some days I am angry at God. And I keep praying for God to give me a sign as to why this is happening to me. What am I meant to do with this? Am I meant to make this YouTube channel and hopefully provide some comfort and understanding to other people going through cancer? Am I meant to, I don't know, impact just my family and friends? Am I meant to do none of that? I don't know what it is. I don't know what the reason is. And maybe I should just trust that things are gonna be revealed to me in time, and but that's hard. It's hard. Yeah, so I'm scared as heck, and I am so mad about this. Even when I have good news, I'm still so angry. So, and I've talked to quite a few people now who have cancer and are on like support groups on Facebook and things like that, and I've seen that a lot of people have said the same thing. Even those who are in full remission talk about how they should be so ecstatic that they're in remission, but that all they can feel is the fear and the wonder of when it's going to come back. And yeah, so I know that I'm not alone. And I just wanted to get on and share that if you're feeling fear and anger, sadness, feeling cooped up in your house because the weather's so terrible, feeling like Rapunzel up in this piece, you're not alone. And it sucks. And I feel you. So, yeah, that's all I had to say today. I hope everyone has a good day, and that knowing that you're not alone brings you some comfort. All right, bye guys.